Hello and thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to give you a close look at the custom cold steel Voyager that I just finished. Now I was originally going to hand deliver this to a certain someone at Blade Show Atlanta, but they weren't able to make it. So before I ship it off to them, I just want to give you guys a close look. Now I wasn't able to get the usual footage of me going through the process and finishing this thing up due to time constraint for the show, but let's take a close look at this. Now I used a red stabilized maple that I purchased from Real Eyez Woodz. In my opinion, from all the stabilized wood that I've used so far, I'd say his is the best. Again, this is my opinion. But if you guys are interested in picking up some really nice stabilized wood, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can pick up some of his stuff. But this is a nice red. Typically you don't see red in a lot of scales, so that's why I kind of went that route. Plus cold steel knives are just really large and definitely a 300 vibe going on. But really love the chatoyancy on this maple. I think it looks really good and just really addicting to look at in the light or at certain angles. Here is the pocket clip side. Now I created bevels all the way around. In certain areas it's a little bit different, but here by the finger groove I created a arced bevel. You can see right there. Again, just to make it very comfortable in hand. And I made the bevel here on the bottom side a little bit larger, again to make it more comfortable when you're gripping all the way around this handle. Towards the front, I did a tapered bevel. You can see here on both sides, so fatter and thinner towards the tip here in the front. Same from the top to the front. That way when you do a pinch grip, it's a lot more comfortable in hand and your fingers are a lot closer to the blade to give you more control. And even with that pinch grip, you can really sneak up behind that blade and not lose your grip. So that was the main reason for beveling it that way in the front. I also did something that I like to call a double bevel. So the original scales actually sat on top of these aluminum liners and nested nicely inside of it. But since I can't create nested liners, just a lot of milling, I'll figure it out one day, but this was my way around it. So I beveled it slightly, or at a sharp angle to meet up with the liners, since the liners are a little bit smaller. That way, it's a lot more comfortable when you're rubbing your hands or fingers on or through it. Again, comfort was key here, so that way you're not rubbing your finger on a sharp edge. And creating that double bevel just really makes it very comfortable in hand. And there are some pitted areas in the wood here. I was thinking about putting super glue to get rid of those pits, but I kind of like that natural look to it. Here you can see on this side there's a lot more pitting, but again I kind of like it. Just makes it a little more rustic, natural, if you will. But really happy with it. Again, love the red and I love that chatoyancy. Moving on to the pocket clip. This is a fat carbon pocket clip, and surprisingly carbon fiber and fat carbon works really well for pocket clips. The retention is really good. And obviously if you overextend it like extremely, it's gonna break. But I have a custom pocket clip just like this on one of my Yojimbos. And for the past year and a half, nothing has happened to it. It still works. The retention is really good. But one of the main things I learned about creating a pocket clip out of fat carbon or camo carbon or just carbon fiber in general is you want to just use a carbon fiber version with no color, because whatever they use as a color is kind of a weak point and it breaks. So you just want to use the all black version. Again, it just gives you more strength. I ended up contouring this and bringing the front side of the pocket clip a little bit lower and really kind of spooned it out. You can see right there. Again, to make it very comfortable in hand and just high enough for that tip to slip past the pocket and slides in beautifully. And of course I left enough room to slip into thicker pant pockets. But those are two major things that I look for when creating a custom pocket clip, is thicker pant pockets and then a nice comfortable spooned front end. If you guys are interested in creating your own custom pocket clip, I do have a video or a how-to video of how to do that, and I'll leave a link up here in the corner. you can check out that video if you're interested. But really happy with that. As for the hardware, I gave it all a satin finish just to match those aluminum liners. As you can see it right there. Again, I wanted to keep that strength because wood isn't the strongest, even if it's stabilized. So left the liners in. And for the spine, so the back spacer, the lock bar, and the spine of the blade, I gave a nice rock pattern texture. Feels really good on the fingers, and just kept that all the way through. I ended up keeping the original back spacer. I was going to make a custom one, but this works just as good. And it was black already, so it's pretty close to matching the etched and stone-washed lock bar and blade, and really has that nice contrast against the satin finished liners. As for the blade, the etch and stonewash came out beautiful. I love how AUS 10A steel etches, gets really, really dark. And then, of course, I gave it a fresh cutting edge. It's an aggressive cutting edge. I like for my blades to bite a little bit. And then I also gave it a little bit larger sharpening choil, just because I'm not the greatest at sharpening. And this gives me a little bit of a safety area to not hit that plunge line. Really like the contrast of the satin finished thumb studs against the aggressive stonewash. I always try to create a nice contrast with custom knives, but the action is really, really good. It still needs to break in since I did clean it. I did put oil, so it is nice and smooth, but once it breaks in, it'll be very drop sheddy. You can even reverse flick this thing. But really love the Voyager. They do have XL versions, and I want to say they have mini versions, but overall really love the drop point version. I think it's got a clean look. Even without the custom scales, just the way it comes is really, really comfortable, and you can really choke up on this very large area where you can choke up pretty close behind that cutting edge. Again, overall very, very comfortable knife. And would highly recommend this if you're looking for a budget knife and a very, very strong knife. And that's pretty much it. The next cold steel I'm thinking about doing, I'm deciding between two, but it's the medium Talwar, and then you have the Spartan here. I've had the Spartan for a long time, and I really, really want to do something cool with it. So this will probably be next. I'm not exactly sure. But I love the Talwar as well. But let me know down below if you want to see the Talwar or the Spartan customized first. Either one I'd be happy to customize, but that's my next project. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you guys on the next one.